Hi everybody, my name is Ranger Rich and I'm here at the state capitol in Sacramento. Very excited to be with you, and I know you're in Santa Maria, but I don't know the name of your school. Can somebody raise your hand and tell me the name of your school?
What's the name of our school?
Taylor School.
Taylor, very nice. Now, can somebody else tell me something that they like about Taylor School?
You're in the green.
Okay, it's fun here.
It's fun. What do you like?
We're next to a pond.
They're next to a pond here,
Oh, very nice.
We go on field trips.
and they go on field trips.
Excellent. Well, I'm very happy to be here, and I'm going to show you exactly where I am, but I need to just check with your teacher. About how long will I have for this class?
We have about 20 minutes.
20 minutes. Okay, great. So what I'm going to do is what we call a Google fly-in. So if you give me just a second, I'll get it set up, and then you're going to get to see exactly where I'm at. Here we go. So it's going to come from outer space, and it's going to show you California, Pacific Ocean. And it's going to zoom in on the Bay Area where the water is to the left. And now Sacramento is at the confluence of two rivers, the Sacramento River and the American River. Now we're over downtown, and there's a big park around the Capitol, which you can see that green area. And now it's going to show you the front of the Capitol. And it's going to show you exactly the path that I take every day when I walk to work to this building. So that's the state capitol. And I'm just going to ask you a quick question because you may or may not know the answer, but I'm sure somebody in there could know. Do you think at the state capitol, the capital of California, what kind of things do we do here? Do we build cars, bake bread, or make laws? Any idea?
Daniel?
You make laws?
So make laws.
Very good. So today we're going to spend some time talking about laws. And before I get started, we're going to talk a little bit about rules, because rules are very much like laws. Of course, many of you know, if you've ever played the game of soccer, that it actually has lots of rules that you have to follow. And so for the most part, it's important to understand that rules are very, very much like, or laws are very, very much like rules. Not too much of a difference. Okay. So again, this is going to be the Capitol building where we make the laws, and we have the lawmakers that are here, and I'm going to explain a little bit to you about who the lawmakers are. But before I do that, you should know that your school was created as a result of a law. The Santa Barbara County Office of Education, as well as your school district, Santa Maria Bonita School District, are basically following the laws by having a school and a place for you to go to learn. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about umpiring because I love baseball and it's very important to me. And I want to get you a little involved in this because these are going to be some of the signals that I'm going to use. I'm going to use some of the signals an umpire would. So to stop a game, an umpire might hold up his hand and say, time out, time out. So you guys hold up your hand and say, time out, time out.
Time out, time out.
Very good. Another thing an umpire will do is he'll go, you're out. Try it.
You're out.
Very good. So an umpire enforces the rules of the game to make the game fair. Another thing an umpire might do is go, you're safe. So try that one. You're safe. Very good. All right, how about if it's a home run, he'll circle his fingers and he'll have the guy run all the way around the base for a home run. Say home run.
Home run.
All right, and then sometimes the ball's hit into fair territory and they'll go fair ball, just like that. Try it.
Fair ball.
Or if it's a foul ball into the stands, they'll go, foul ball. And then, of course, the most important thing that I need your help with, and I really want to hear it up here in Sacramento, is the beginning of the game. And the umpire is responsible for starting the game, and he goes, play ball. So you guys try it.
Play ball.
All right, you got it. Excellent. Very good job. Kind of loosened you up there a little bit. So I'm a state park ranger. That's my logo. It's on my uniform. And we take care of places like beaches and parks and rivers and lakes and forests, campgrounds, and we also take care of museums. So this building is actually a museum, and it's just kind of a fancy name for a place where we protect the history of California. Now, the office that I'm in is the office of the governor. Does anybody know what a governor is?
Luis.
Someone that, like, kind of like a president, but for a state.
Wow.
Someone who's kind of like a president, but for the state.
Yeah, exactly. So Barack Obama is the president of the United States, and Jerry Brown is the governor of California. And just for your understanding, it's his job, Jerry Brown, the governor, to take care of the entire state. The highways, the railroads, the airports, the cities, and of course you and me, the people. Now, in your own school, you have a big boss, but the name of the big boss is not the governor. What is the name of the person who runs your school?
Kimberly.
The principal?
The
Yeah.
principal.
And so what are some of the things that the principal is responsible for?
Luke.
Our safety?
Very good. What else?
Jorge.
Our school?
You're right, and it's interesting, the building and the grounds and the playground and everything on the school, the principal is responsible for, just like the governor is responsible for all the freeways in the cities. So bringing it closer to you, the big boss at your school is the principal, and here in the state of California, it's the governor. Now, I'm going to show you a slide, and if you've ever been to this place, either Oceano Dunes or Pismo Beach, raise your hand. Can somebody tell me what you guys do there when you go to those places?
Erwin.
Have fun?
Yeah, what kind of play?
What kind of fun do you guys have there? Cheyenne.
Fires.
Bonfires. Kimberly.
Wow, excellent. That's fun.
Sandcastles?
Sandcastles.
Oh, so you play at the beach?
Yes. Daniel.
Boogie boarding?
Boogie boarding.
Oh, so you actually get in the water and surf. Very nice. That's fantastic. All right, so you kind of have an idea of what a state park is. And a state park is run by people just like me that have this logo on and wear this uniform, and they're called rangers. And they take care of Pismo Beach and Oceano Dunes. But here in the governor's office in Sacramento at the state capitol, it's my job to take care of this building, take care of the people who visit here to see the history. So we're going to talk a little bit about history and what this room means. This would be like the principal's office for your school, but in this case, it's the governor's office. So I'm going to show you something that happened a long time ago and see if anybody can explain to me what happened in 1906.
Crystal.
An earthquake hit San Francisco.
That's correct. Now, have some of you ever heard of this event that took place in 1906? Yeah, oh, excellent. So you guys actually have heard of the earthquake. So I want to ask you to take a very close look at the picture again, and I want you to tell me, what do you suppose these people that are in the foreground of the picture, you can see how it's kind of funny, they're all wearing hats just like I am. Look at all those hats. And they're looking at this building. What's happening with this building?
Juan.
It's burning and
It's burning. And there was just a terrible rattling of an earthquake that destroyed many buildings, and then a big, giant, crazy Wait till you see this picture, fire. And you can see that the entire city is basically ablaze. Now, what do you think is going through the minds of these people? What do you think they're thinking right now? Somebody?
Kimberly?
We're gonna die.
That could be, and many people did pass away. What else are they thinking of?
Daniel?
What should I do? They're confused.
Yeah, that's really a great answer. A lot of people are unsure of what their fate was, what was going to happen to them. How are they feeling? What kind of feeling inside do you suppose they're having?
See, Cheyenne?
Sad.
What was that?
Sad.
Sad.
Sadness.
Yeah, what else? One more big thing.
Crystal?
Scared and frightened.
Scared and frightened.
Scared and frightened. I would be scared and frightened if I saw a fire and lived through an earthquake like that. Now, what this means to you is these people need help. And so they came to this office, the people representing who was left after that horrible earthquake. And they said, Governor Pardee, what can we do to help fix San Francisco and help its people? So what do you think are some of the things that government, California state government, and the governor actually did to help these people that ended up out of their homes, out of their businesses? What are some of the things that government could actually do to help them?
Jorge? Give their family money.
Money,
Louise?
Give them a place to stay.
Give them a place to stay.
Okay, so they did put up temporary housing and tents and things for people to stay. What else? What else do people
Daniel?
need?
Food, provided food and water for them.
Right. Provide food and water.
Excellent. Your great answers all the way around. Food and water, medical supplies, because there were lots of people injured. Well, that just doesn't happen by accident. What has to happen is laws have to be created. And those laws are passed right away to get those people the money they need to get food and water, the supplies that they need to live, to get their homes rebuilt and their businesses rebuilt. So government is here to help you if there is a disaster. And that's what was happening in this particular office on that particular day that newspaper came out and said San Francisco in ruins. Government snapped into action and help the people. So we're going to kind of talk a little bit about laws, and we're going to try to get a little bit of understanding. I'm going to come right back to that because I want to point out some interesting things I discovered about your neighborhood, and then I'll come right back to the idea of laws. Has anybody been to this place? If you have, raise your hand. And can you call on one of the students, and ask them what their experience was at the Discovery Museum?
Okay. Crystal, what was your experience?
It was really fun and exciting.
Okay, fun and exciting. What made it fun and exciting?
We learned a lot and we got to play around with the little stuff that they had there.
Okay, so they got to learn and explore.
Excellent. That's great.
Juan?
So, one more person. Go ahead and explain your experience there.
Little baby sharks on the tank.
So he saw little baby sharks in the exhibit in the tank.
So the reason why I'm showing you the Discovery Museum is because I've actually been there with my kids, and I think it's a really cool place in Santa Maria. And I'm going to show you a couple of other things in your town, just to sort of take your minds off of school for a second and to think of fun things that happen in your community. Another fun thing is your Parks and Recreation Department has a very good program. And whether it's out at your local park, whether you attend a day camp, or whether you get involved in any of their activities, it's always a lot of fun. And then, of course, I've been to the skateboard park. Has anybody there been to the skateboard park at the YMCA? Raise your hand.
We have about a couple.
Oh, okay, great. So, other fun things to do in the community. A place that I enjoy a great deal is this museum. And Again, it's a museum just like Capitol is, but in this particular case, it's an air museum. If you've been there, raise your hand. One person maybe?
Actually, no one yet. No one has
Okay.
yet.
So now does everybody know where the airport is?
Yes.
Okay, good. If you go there and you ask them, you can do a special program where they take you on a tour and show you around all the aircraft in the museum, but they'll also allow you to build a model. So that's another really fun thing to do in your community. And of course, everybody's gone bowling at one time or another fun thing to do. So as you get into the holidays here, hopefully you guys will be doing fun stuff. Now, as far as the history of this particular room in this particular building, it's a very important man I'm going to show you a picture of. And he's my favorite governor of all time. And the reason I say that is he was a very special person, and he actually grew up and lived very close to where you guys live. His name is Romualdo Pacheco, and I have somebody that's going to actually talk a little bit about what Romualdo did in terms of being governor. So if you give me just a second, I'm going to find this, and we'll see if we can play it and learn a little bit about Romualdo. Okay, here we go. Can you see that?
My name is Richard Brannon.
Yes, we can see that.
State Parks.
Can you hear it?
Part of the Parks program coming to you, to your classroom. We're at California State, and behind me, the portrait is somebody who was from your neighborhood. Our 12th governor, Jose Antonio Romualdo Pacheco, lived in the Santa Barbara, Santa Maria area, and he represented you. He served 8 months as governor of California, and then went on to be a United States congressman representing the Santa Barbara area. When he was younger, he lassoed a grizzly bear. Think about that. He lassoed a grizzly bear. Pretty impressive. And he's the only Latino governor to serve the state of California. So next time you're looking at somebody from your area who's famous, look to the gentleman behind me, 12th Governor Romualdo Pacheco. Thank you.
Okay, so that's kind of a cool little story about my favorite governor. Now, what I want you to do is think about how he got from Santa Barbara or Santa Maria, wherever he was. I want you to think about how did he come all this way, because I'm about 300 miles away from you, and there's a map of California, and you guys are right about here on the map. We are all the way up here in the Bay Area, right about there. How do you suppose in 1875 he was able to get all the way to Sacramento to make laws to represent you guys? Any ideas?
Daniel?
He took a coach there.
Okay, so he took a coach there.
What kind of coach?
First coach.
A stagecoach?
A stagecoach. Wow, excellent answer. I like that a lot. But it's a very long ride. There were no freeways. There were no roads. So it'd be a long, bumpy ride. And he could have done that. What else could he have done to get here?
Kimberly?
Took an airplane.
Invented yet.
Taking an airplane?
Okay, so let's think about that. 1875, there were horses and buggies. Do you suppose there were airplanes then?
No. Erwin, can you help us? He walked? That'd be a long
You could hike it. Yeah, you could hike it. It would probably take you a month. That's a long walk. It would take you a long time in a stagecoach. You could ride horseback, but what's the fastest way to get there? And again, think about this map that you're looking at here of California, and you want to go from point A to point B. What's the way to get there?
Jada, can you help us? A horse? Well, we already said a stagecoach. Sophia?
He sailed there.
He sailed.
Excellent. Very good answer. Now, when you think about the fact that he may have sailed here, you're probably very close to the actual answer. So, from Santa Maria, where do you go to catch a boat?
We're out, guys. Kimberly?
To the coast.
To the coast?
Sure. Where's the closest port? Where's the real big closest port that you might go to?
What's the closest port, guys?
Avila.
Diana? Avila?
Avila's pretty good, but you probably go to a bigger city. I'm going to show you a picture of where he went, because once you see this picture, you'll understand. First of all, you can see he probably showed up in a horse and carriage. There's only horses there, and there's a wharf, and there's these bluffs, and it's a big city. It's not as big as Santa Maria, but you guys all know the name of the city. There's a giant beach there. Somebody guess where he caught his boat from, besides Avila.
From Pismo Beach.
No, go south, further down the coast.
Okay. So further south. Jada?
No.
San Luis Obispo?
No, there's no port in San Luis Obispo. That's an inland city. Keep going
Kimberly?
south.
Grover Beach?
There was no port there either.
Let's have a port. Juan?
San Barbara.
Excellent answer. Very
Santa
good.
Barbara.
So you got it. So essentially he goes from Santa Barbara, and this is a picture of what it looked like in Santa Barbara at the time. He's at the beach, he gets on a boat right here, and then he travels all the way to San Francisco, and then we go inland along the waterway through the Bay Area, and we end up at this wonderful port right here in Sacramento, and you can see the boats in the foreground. And he gets off in Sacramento, and he takes a carriage or he takes a horse, and he ends up right here in this building. Now, I need to explain a little bit about how this building came about. It has to do with rules and laws. And this is a big word. I know you guys can read this word, but I want somebody to explain to me what this means, this document.
California Constitution.
What does that mean?
Crystal?
It means that all people were to be treated equally.
And that's true in all constitutions, but I just want you to think of that piece of paper as being a list of rules or a list of laws. And those laws are what we follow today here in the state of California. And this building that I'm actually in, the Capitol building, was built as a result of the Constitution saying we should build a Capitol, we should have a Senate and Assembly, our legislators, they should make our laws, and we should follow our laws. Now, I know I've been moving along pretty quick here, but I thought I would just ask, does anybody have any questions about any of this right now?
Anyone have any questions? We have one question. Go ahead.
What was his name? His favorite governor? What was his name? The 12th governor? Yeah.
What was the favorite governor?
No.
Romualdo Pacheco.
That was his full name?
Yes.
That's like, you know.
Any more questions?
No.
I think
Okay,
we're
and
good.
I'll give you another minute in a few minutes to ask some more general questions. But what I'd like you to do is look at this picture of government. There are three branches: legislative, executive, and judicial. Who could explain to me what they think legislative means?
Kimberly?
That's where they take the law and government has to sign it to make
That's exactly what they do, is they actually make the laws in the legislature, and your representatives are the people that make these laws, and they actually live in your community. The current assembly member, I believe, is from San Luis Obispo, and his name is Cacho Achadian, and he makes laws in this building that I'm standing in, the state capitol. Now, we talked earlier about the bosses of your school, and we talked earlier about the head of California. So that person is part of the executive branch of government, and that's the governor. What do you think judicial means, the third branch of government? Any ideas?
Daniel?
I think it's where they take the laws and they put it in a book.
Not sure I heard what he said.
So what is it that you're saying?
I think that's where they take the laws and they record the laws.
They take the laws and record them into a book.
Oh, okay. Well, actually, that is part of it. But if you think of the word judicial, what other word is inside of judicial?
Crystal?
They judge the laws and they vote on them and to see if they're fair.
They judge
Yeah.
the laws.
Yeah, you hit it on the head. Excellent answer. The judicial branch is to make sure that they judge the laws and that they make sure that they are fair. Now, we talked about baseball earlier, and baseball operates on a set of rules. Do you think government has rules?
Yeah.
And why do they have rules?
Cheyenne? To keep the United States safe.
Or California, to keep it safe. So rules are in place to be fair. Once again, in baseball, we have rules in the game to make sure everybody gets an opportunity to play fair, to win. And in government, we have rules, and we have the judicial branch judges making sure that the laws are fair for everybody. Okay, real quickly, I'm just going to go through and show you a couple of rooms here in the building. This is where the assembly meets. It's called the assembly chambers. This is where the Senate meets. It's called the Senate chambers. And these are some of your legislators, the actual people that are in charge of enforcing the laws. So you can see this building has a very important purpose, and it has since that Constitution was written and we became a state in 1850. So with that, I'm going to leave it open and ask you if you have any questions about this building, this room, about what it means to be a park ranger, anything you'd like to ask. You got a few minutes. I'd be happy to answer your questions.
Okay, we have one question. Go ahead, Luke.
You have a gun?
Currently, I do not have a gun, and that's a good question because when I did work along your coast, when I worked by Hearst Castle and up at Big Sur, I did carry a gun. But here we have the California Highway Patrol who provides all the security, so I don't need to wear one. Next question.
Daniel?
What park does he work at?
He wants to know what park you work at.
Okay, so when we did the Google fly-in and you saw the big park around the Capitol, I work there. I work in the Capitol building, and I take care of the history of the Capitol. So I'm not a park ranger like I was when I lived in your neighborhood. When I lived in your neighborhood, I actually ran a campground, and that was in Big Sur. Great question, thank you. Next question.
Juan?
Have you ever caught someone trying to steal something?
Well, you know, being a ranger, our job is to help people. So when people get lost or hurt or injured and people need help, that's what we try to do. Now, sometimes people will do things they shouldn't do, and that's when we talk to them about whatever it is they're doing, and we try to get them to change their behavior. But yes, I have had to arrest some people.
Daniel?
Have you ever met the governor?
I have not met the governor, but I have seen him in the building working, and I can tell you that he's a governor that is always around working very hard to help create a better California. And he just got reelected, so obviously a lot of Californians believe in that too. Any other questions?
We have one more question, Kimberly.
Okay.
Can you show us a picture of the governor?
A picture of the governor? I have one that's really small, but I will show it to you, and hopefully, you know, you'll be able to see it. It's going to be the person all the way to the left, and his name is Jerry Brown. Can you see him?
Yeah. No. Up? Left? Top left. Top left.
Yeah, that's it. That's Jerry Brown. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye and thank you for being an outstanding class. You guys are very knowledgeable. I welcome you to come up to the Capitol at any time to visit, and I hope to see you again, and have a great day and have a great weekend. Thank you.
Thank you.